Here now to react to two fresh faces in the new Congress. From Florida, Laurel Lee, along with our friend Kevin Kiley, who you've seen before when he was in the state legislature. Now he's in the Congress. He's from California. Both of them, I'm pleased to say, with legal credentials as well to help us figure out the latest on this Biden classified document scandal. Laurel, a former judge, an assistant U.S. attorney, and Kevin, a former editor of the Yale Law Journal. I didn't know that, Kevin, as well as a practicing attorney himself. Laurel, I just want to start with this big question I think a lot of people are troubled by. Clearly, the Biden special counsel that was announced this week is designed to create the impression of political impartiality. But that's just not credible if they don't include in the investigation all the other things we know need to be investigated, particularly the Biden family corruption, the years of it, the influence peddling operation, including with a hostile foreign power. If they don't investigate that, there's no credibility to this.
Well, that's right. And typically a special counsel is designated to look at a specific incident or a specific person. But here, we already know this is the tip of the iceberg, and there is so much more that needs to be explored when it comes to Joe Biden, to Hunter Biden, and the myriad of issues we've seen develop over the years. It was so important this morning. We saw Chairman Jim Jordan announce that the House of Representatives is going to be conducting its own investigation into these classified documents, and you can expect that Congress will also be fulfilling its role in conducting oversight and investigations on all of these other important matters, too. The American people deserve transparency and answers, and that's really the function of the congressional oversight, is to ensure that we understand what's happened here. What are these documents? What do they contain? Where were they? Who had access to them? These are the things that the American people deserve to know, and we stand ready to take our part in ensuring that we get those answers.
And Kevin, another whole aspect to this, which I don't think is getting enough attention in terms of the conversation around this, is the political aspect. The fact that, as I just touched on, they knew about this before the election. Somebody took the decision to cover it up. Somebody decided, we don't know if that's Joe Biden himself, is it Ron Klain? So we know that this is out there. They made this whole, governance and all this stuff a big feature of their election campaign for the midterms. They withheld that information before the election.
Well, that's right. And I think that, any fair-minded person looking at this can say, OK, so we have two presidents who are allegedly in possession of classified documents. In the one case, they do the most public thing possible. They raid Mar-a-Lago so that every single American knows about it at the time they go to vote. And in the other case, they intentionally keep it a secret so no one knows about it at the time that they vote. It doesn't take a great deal of imagination to wonder what sort of motivations might be at play. And, this principle of equal treatment under law, equal access to justice. I mean, this is foundational to our country. And I think that every American, Democrat, Republican, Independent, believes in that principle. And so it's not only appropriate for the House to look into this matter, but it's incumbent on us to exercise our oversight responsibilities to see exactly what is going on at Joe Biden and Merrick Garland's Justice Department.
Exactly. And the other part of the equal treatment outrage here, Kevin, is that, we're expected to believe and trust, it's Biden's attorneys doing this. They're the ones finding all these documents. Whereas, in the case of Trump, they had to send in the FBI. I mean, it's such a double standard. Can I switch to the other aspect of what I was talking about there tonight, which is just all this virtue signaling that goes on, and meanwhile, in the basics just don't get done. And I'm afraid I shamelessly stole your line. I think it was in your first speech on the floor of the Congress in your just this week, where you said, here in California, we have floods and droughts at the same time.
That's right. We are in a flood emergency and a drought emergency at the same time. I mean, that absurdity tells you everything you need to know about the misgovernance of the state of California, where we've known for as long as we've been a state that we have cycles of wetness and dryness, and yet we haven't built the sort of water storage that we need in order to stabilize our water supply. And so I've been an advocate when it comes to the state of California, and frankly, the federal government now as well, is we just need to get back to, as you said, get back to basics, store our water, build our roads, manage our forests, secure our border, fund our police, do the things government is supposed to do them well, and do nothing else.
And just quickly, Laurel, this point about banning, they're saying that this is a new culture war about banning stoves, the right getting very excited about it. No, it's an example of them going forward with these theatrics instead of doing anything practical that helps solve people's problems.
Well, that's exactly right. It's just the latest example of Democrats believing that they should be telling Americans how to live their lives, what to do in their homes, how to spend their paychecks. And of course, what we bring to Congress as this new Republican majority is exactly the opposite. We believe in Americans. We believe in empowering individuals and businesses, and that government, in most cases, should be getting out of the way. And one thing that I'm really proud of is in our very first weeks here in Congress, we've already started delivering on those promises that we made when we were out on the campaign trail. And they're exactly the kind of important common sense solutions that you're talking about, that we're ensuring that we're working toward energy independence, that we're investigating the weaponization of government, that we defunded those 87,000 IRS agents. We need government to be working for us, not against us. And this new Republican majority is going to see that happen.
And it's great to see both of you there. The sort of energy you both bring to it is going to be fantastic. Thank you both for joining us.